Sis and Tell. Sis and Tell. A whole lot of talk about a whole lot of nothing. Sis and Tell. Amanda to stand up in Alison's on TV. When they hop on the phone, yeah, you know it's the place you wanna be. Sis and Tell.
Hey, Allie.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Just waiting to hear what wonderful things you have to say that happened to you this week so we can talk for 30 minutes and share it with everybody.
What a unique concept. Wow, just talking for 30 minutes with your sister live. So I do have wonderful things to talk about, but I do have one admission that I need to just go ahead and get out at the front end. And that is a confession. It's really a regret. I just regret something, and I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to try to replay something because my regret is that I did not record my conversation this week with Mommy and Daddy. And not that I would normally record any of my conversations with them, but we had just a funny exchange, and after it happened, I was laughing so hard that...
ABR, Allie. ABR. Always be recording.
Yeah,
have you learned nothing?
ABR. I know. I've learned now. Now I will never have a conversation without them. And it may not be as funny to you as when it happened, but it was so funny. So here's what happened. So talking to them, just having a conversation, and I said to Daddy, "Oh, have you gotten your vaccination donut yet?" And he goes, "What are you talking about?" I go, your COVID vaccination donut from Krispy Kreme. And they both looked at me. We were FaceTiming. And they both looked at me like, we have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, you didn't read the article that came out this week, right? And for those of you who
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right? But for those of you who do not know what I'm talking about, Krispy Kreme came out with a statement this week saying that if you show your vaccination card, whether you have one shot or two, right? Even if you've only gotten the first shot for a 2-shot dose, if you show your vaccination card at any Krispy Kreme, you are entitled to one free glazed donut. And not just one time.
I'm always entitled to a glazed donut.
There you go. Right. Well, and it's not even a one-time deal. You can get a free glazed donut every day for the rest of 2021. So when they released it, it was like you could, accumulate 283 free donuts. That's just from one location, right? If you start doing the math, this could be very lucrative for donut lovers. I don't happen to be a donut lover, but I'm struggling because I am a free stuff lover. So I'm trying to reconcile not really loving donuts, but wanting to get free stuff.
Also, how well do donuts freeze?
Right. Could I create a dozen and then bring them to a party? Right. Exactly. After every 12 days, I'm going to go to somewhere, a social distance party, COVID party. So all of that to say.
I brought donuts. It just took me 12 days to gather them. They're still defrosting.
And this is Harry. I met him on day 11. He's going to bring you his one. So anyway, they obviously had no idea what I was talking about. So I said, Krispy Kreme is giving you a free donut for your vaccination card. Daddy's face was like a 10-year-old boy's on Christmas who finally got the bike that he's always been asking for. He looks at me, he goes, "What?" And that's exactly how I reacted, and I was crying. And I go, "Yeah, Daddy, it's a thing." He was like so serious about being so shocked that, number one, this was happening, but number two, that he was not privy to it. And now it was already like 7:00 at night his time. And he looks at his watch. He goes, "Okay, I have to go now. I only have 5 hours to go get my free donut. I have got to go." I was laughing. But if I could just have captured that what in the face that he made, he was so shocked. It has kept me laughing all week. That's it.
Oh my God, Daddy is adorable. He's so cute. He's like a giant little kid. What? Looked like the time he went to the grocery store and went shopping, probably for himself, and he bought little Baby Ruth's ice cream sandwiches, regular
milk, bagels,
peanut butter, and then the cashier's ringing everything up and goes, "Oh, you have the kids for the weekend?"
Right. the divorcee who was just following up with junk food for all of the kids. Yeah. Nope. Just for me.
And corned beef hash. He used to keep cans of corned beef hash at his office. So gross.
Disgusting.
He doesn't do that anymore. Now
I don't even want to know what's in a can of corned beef hash. That I didn't even know that was a thing.
Is it like Spam, right? What is the hash part too? What is it?
I think that's what you do to it. You hash it. You
hash it
like
up.
machete it.
It's just corned beef chopped up. It's chopped corned beef.
Well, it's in other stuff. No, but the hash. There's other stuff in hash. My roommate from college, Janet, she loves corned beef hash. I'll have to ask her what the hash part is.
Like potato hash. I would make like
right, like you can hash in anything. It's sort of like a mash, but more violent.
A little hairy.
A little hairy.
It's a mashup.
Yeah.
So I've been doing something unusual this week. I have been a stage mom because Oscar, my youngest, and he's the youngest by 1 minute because I've got twins, was in a movie, and we still have one more day of the shoot. We found out about it because our rabbi got cast in the movie, and he posted on our congregation Facebook page, "Hey, they're looking for a Jewish 12-year-old boy. Anyone have a kid that's interested?" I didn't even ask Oscar. I just said, yes, Oscar is interested.
You will be interested in acting because mommy has to get on the set and talk her way into a part. That is all that I can say.
I just knew, look, all my kids want to have that experience, and Murray has had that experience of being on set, and I'm always looking for short and quick opportunities for the kids. So, and I thought this was going to be, I had no idea what the movie was about other than it's a Christmas movie on Netflix, right? That's the only information he told us.
Of course they need a Jewish boy in a Christmas movie. Right. That makes sense.
We live to be the token Jews, right? And it warmed my heart to see this, that they were purposely casting Jewish characters in it. And I was thinking...
And also Jewish, like really Jewish. You could pretty much take any kid and just claim he's the token Jewish friend. But I like that they wanted really, really Jewish kids to be the fake friend.
Right. And that Rabbi Kamen was playing a rabbi. So I thought they were looking for a featured extra, which means you're not talking, but it's a very specific extra role. So it may have been one of the main characters was like at a bar mitzvah and they needed a kid on the bima, the stage, to pretend like to be reading from the Torah.
By the way, because there's nothing worse than casting a non-Jewish person in a role where they have to say, recite, or read Torah, right? Or Hebrew, I should say, not just Torah, but the Baruch Atah Adonai, right? Instead of the Baruch, right? Anybody who hasn't grown up with that ch in their
very hard
vernacular,
to say.
It is hard. It's hard to say it if you didn't grow up figuring out how to say it. It's like rolling your R's, right?
I cannot roll my R's.
No, I can't either. Yeah.
I think that's hereditary though. I would pay someone $10 to teach me how to roll my R's.
I'd rather know how to whistle with my fingers than roll my R's, to be fair. There's a hierarchy of things I wish I could do. Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah, I would like to learn that too. There's YouTube videos for that. Next time we meet, I'm going to learn how to do that.
There we go.
So I thought it was like a featured, background or something, and he puts me in touch with the woman who co-wrote it and is like the director on it. And I'm assuming the executive producer too. And I said, "What do you need from us?" I was thinking like a picture, right? And I said, "By chance, are there sides?" And sides are the scripts that you get when you're auditioning. It's like a few pages that they pull out for you to audition. And she goes, "Yes, there are sides, and if you can turn around the audition today, that'd be great." And
sides?
I was like,
did you say SIDES? I've never heard that word. Okay, sides.
So there were, much to my surprise, and she needed the audition same day, which I have once in a while done same day auditions, and I tend to turn my auditions around pretty quickly just because it's a lot of times it's like rolling. Like if they can go ahead and cast someone or set someone up for a callback, then they want to do it as quickly as possible. So timing was of the essence. So Oscar memorized the script in about 5 minutes. 20 minutes later, we recorded it. 20 minutes after that, I'd edited it and sent it to her directly. I got a download notification. And then she starts emailing me and says, "Okay, what movie credits does he have?"
Well, he's done a famous Papa John's commercial.
Well, I said, so I'm answering one question at a time. I go, I'm not going to try. Mommy's like, well, why didn't you start saying this and that? And he's very good in front of the camera. And she tries to like fake it until you make it and wants to emphasize.
No, it's not faking it till you make it. It's more like,
Right.
don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're right. Don't let the truth or like just highlight these other things, right? Well, he was in that family movie we did for Papa. He so, and the Papa John's. It's all about Papa. But so I said he has not been in any movies, and she said, "What about any commercial work, TV, or professional theater?"
And at this point, you don't know. Sometimes they're asking you because they want that experience, and sometimes they're asking you because they rather have somebody fresh, right?
Right. Yeah. So for me, I always stick to the truth because I'd rather not get something being truthful than not get something lying and not and wondering
and realizing you should have said the truth. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So then I said he's not a professional actor. The reason why you see the setup, because I have a self-tape setup and you can tell, is because I do auditions, and the only thing he's been in was we as a family were in a Papa John's commercial. And she said, "Oh my God, I can't believe that. We've auditioned 10 kids and he has blown them all out of the water."
That's so sweet.
It's so sweet, and he was so excited, and he was so cute. He almost gave up because I made him do it like 5 times, but only because he had never done an audition before,
right?
And he kept on looking at the camera, right? And I was like, you have to ignore.
Please tell me he like threw something down and yelled, "I can't work under these conditions."
Yes. Oh, I'm going to talk to my people. And Ruby is his manager, and she is
oh
tough,
no,
right? So she kept on being like, "Do they know he has a twin sister? They need to know." So anyway, so he got cast for it pretty quickly, and I got cast as the stage mom.
Your perfect role, really. You've been planning this for decades.
For decades. No, I've been planning to be in front of the camera for decades, but I'm okay keeping it chill. It was kind of fun being incognito on set. It's not like I told them that. I didn't mention that I do stand up. Eventually, it was weird. People kept on saying to me, "You look so familiar." And then one of the makeup artists, we connected on Instagram, and then she's like, "Oh, you're a comedian. That's why we all thought you looked familiar." And I'm like, "Sure."
Right.
I don't know. Right. We'll go with that. I just have one of those faces. Like, I don't think anyone recognizes me for anything. I think it's just, and constantly people are saying, "You look so familiar." And does that happen to you?
Yes, all the time. And maybe they think, we always joke, maybe they think I'm you. They think.
Right. I'm like, "Do you think are you in Chattanooga? Like, where are you?" Because maybe you think yeah. So anyways, Rachel Silverman was very upset. Rachel, for those listening, is one of my dearest friends. She's like, "I cannot believe they didn't cast you. They, of course, the Jewish kid needs a Jewish mom."
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
And I said to her, "Don't worry. Whenever I'm on a set, I end up getting pulled in front of the camera." And it's true. I can't help it. I'm not even asked. I don't even ask to be in front of the camera, and they always pull me in front of the camera. So,
and by the way, nobody listening to this believes what you just said. We believe you get pulled in front of the camera. Nobody believes in their right mind that you don't ask to be pulled in front of the camera.
No,
not like you may not sit there and go, "Hi, I'm an aspiring actress / comedian, and I'd love to be starring your film." But we all know there's got to be something you do to make sure people know that you'd be willing and able.
No, it's just my natural personality.
Case in point. There you go.
I did not do anything. In fact, she kept on saying, "Do you want to be an extra in this scene?" I kept on saying, "I just want to be there for, I don't want to be an extra. I just want to be there for Oscar." Right? I didn't want to be an extra. I wanted to be his mom. So in case he was new on a set, and I wanted to be available to him. So we ended up having a long shoot day, and I can't go into details about what it's about, but I'll just say there was a party scene. And they needed an extra for it, and I needed to pretend like I was at a party because, we've had a pandemic for a year.
Right.
Everyone it was very COVID. They had so many.
That was my other question. Like, I know with your Papa John's commercial, which was shot in the midst of COVID, they were uber careful about all that, right? Which I think is why they had to shoot at people's houses and real families.
Yeah,
right.
They shot through outside, like through our doors.
Yeah. How did it work for this?
Well, we all had PCR tests, and then we had rapid tests. They continuously were testing people every morning, and people were wearing masks on set.
That's what I was going to ask too. Good.
Unless you were in front of the camera, and then you would take your mask off. But so no, it was very safe. And if someone like had their mask off by mistake, people would you need to put your mask back up. Okay. You might take a sip of water. People went outside to eat. I felt very safe on that set. They did a really good job. They had a lot of stuff going on to make it COVID friendly, or anti-COVID friendly.
Right.
It's not friendly for COVID.
COVID safe.
So anyways, I was like, yes. She's like, do you have an outfit for the party scene? I'm like, no, I didn't bring an out. Like I was not expecting to be pulled in. So I went to wardrobe and they're like, try on this dress. And I was like, all right. And it fit me perfectly. My ego was so high that night because everyone's like, you didn't bring that dress. And I was like, no, I didn't. And they're like, it was made for you. I'm like, I know. And then
like a cocktail dress?
Yeah, it was a fancy dress for a fancy party. And then I got to get my hair and makeup done. And I just would have been happy to sit behind the scenes with getting my hair and makeup done. But let's fast forward. We're not going to talk about anything that happened in the scene or how I made people laugh or how we had to.
Did you have a speaking part, or you were literally just extra?
No, we had. But there was I was in this group of people, and we had to pretend like we were talking. But you're not actually supposed to be talking. But we kept on pretending to be talking, and so the audio guy's like, "Hey," everyone's like, "Stop talking, guys. We need you to pantomime." And they kept on saying pantomime, and all I could think of was miming. So I go, we should all pretend like we're stuck in a glass box. I go, what would they do if they turned around and we were all pulling on pretend ropes and stuck? And everyone thought it was very funny. So I was so happy to have an audience. And
a live audience for the first time in over a year. Right.
Oh my God. It was I was working new material. It was very fun for me. And then we got home and pretty late, and I was like, okay, I have a choice because I have all this awesome makeup on. My hair looks really good.
Oh my gosh.
Do I wash it off or do I sleep in it and see what happens in the morning? Right? Because
when you say see what happens in the morning, that you may stumble upon another set, or you're going back to that one?
No, I was not going back to that set, but that I wanted people to see. I just felt like someone did my makeup. I look good. And I could either fall asleep in it, wake up, and it'd be smeared all over my face, or I'd have a breakout and I could just wash my face, or I would still have great makeup on. And it's like makeup for film TV.
Right.
So it stayed. And I looked good the next day. So did my hair.
In fact, that was 7 weeks ago, and I'm still wearing it.
Still wearing it. They did my eyebrows. Speaking of which, have we talked about microblading? It's
No.
It's a temporary tattoo for your eyebrows.
Yes.
I think I'm going to go get microbladed.
So I have just it looks like a mascara wand, but it's supposed to
mimic.
enhance, mimic that.
Yeah.
It's temporary. Very temporary.
But this is temporary. It's temporary. It lasts 18 months. So I'm thinking because I ain't got no eyebrows.
So here's the thing. You go do it and let me know how it works out.
Okay.
And then I'll decide if I want to do it.
Well, Tiffany, who did my makeup, gets microbladed. And she said that the woman who microblades is teaches the other microbladers. So that's who I'm going to go to.
I feel like microblading was already a word that they may have commandeered. I feel like when rollerblading, there was a version that was microblading, right?
Like a tiny version of rollerblading.
Yeah, when the rollerblades turned to the more sophisticated, streamlined version of rollerblading. I feel like that was microblading. And now they want this to be microblading. Maybe. I'm just saying. Be careful that they don't show up, with rollerblades. Yeah.
It's a microblading party.
All right. So you woke up with a fresh, dewy, TV ready face. And what happened?
I think I had to go grocery shopping or something. I don't know. And you can only see half.
I went to Trader Joe's and they loved me.
I took one picture and I looked great and very natural, I thought. So I don't know. That's it.
And that was your moment of fame. Have you been cast in any extra parts since, or it's all about Oscar now?
No, I can't because I played such a specific extra that I couldn't show up in the background of anything else. So, but I'm okay with that because I just wanted to dress up. I was so happy to put on a dress.
What'd you do about shoes?
They were too small. They had, we got Goldstein women, we got deep belly buttons and big feet. So
yeah, nobody needs to hear the deep belly button part. That was TMI.
We have an entire episode about measuring our belly buttons with muscle.
I know, but that was like 40 episodes ago. People have to go search for that. So
okay, fine. So we have adorable petite belly buttons.
And now nobody believes that.
And we can't. This is how I've set us up. Big feet, big belly buttons, can't roll our R's. What is wrong with the Goldstein women?
What is wrong with
us? This is how I roll my R's. Ready?
Yeah. I can almost, let's see. That sounds like I'm gargling. Abe can roll his R's.
Sounds like you're trying to say challah, but like getting really sexy about it.
Yeah. Abe's the only one who took Spanish in high school, and he can roll his R's. That's it.
I took French.
I took French and Latin. Yeah, none of us did. We didn't get the practice.
Wait, you don't roll your R's in Latin?
You don't roll anything in Latin. You just roll over dead because it's a dead language. But I'm bummed.
Language.
Yeah.
So, anyways, enough about that. That's all I got to say about that.
All right. So now that we're over that, which I'm very proud, I can't wait to see the Christmas special
They're going to have so many Jews watching this Christmas movie.
First of all, a lot of Jewish people watch all the Christmas movies. I don't know anybody, like, if you don't watch Elf at least every year on Christmas or near Christmas, then I don't know if you are Jewish. Like, I have to watch. I love all those. It's a Wonderful Life, and
it's in the Torah. Thou shalt
watch Christmas movies.
Thou shalt compose a Christmas song.
The Santa Claus. Oh my gosh, I love that movie.
That's with what's his name? Tim the Toolman Taylor.
No, but it's not Taylor. That might be his. Yeah,
that was his actor name.
That was his actor name.
Character. Is he Tim? We'll just say Tim. Everyone knows who we're talking about. That comedian. Research department.
I know. I'm going to our research department. Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Tim Allen.
Tim
I love Tim
Allen.
Allen. Wasn't he in jail? Isn't that where he, like, before he started his comedy career, he was like, he was in prison for a while, maybe for drugs or something.
What?
Am I making this up? That'd be a horrible thing to make up.
Yeah, well, chances are, because he is a stand-up comedian, and they tend to not lead the healthiest lifestyles. I'm not included in that. But
here we go. I went to our research department. So he started his career as a comedian in 1975. Wow. On a dare from one of his friends, he participated in a comedy night, and which in one of the suburbs of Detroit. But in 1978, he was imprisoned for drug trafficking.
Wow.
And then he wasn't released. He was in jail for 3 years. Following his release from prison in 1981, he returned to comedy, moved to LA, became a regular performer at the Comedy Store, and started doing stand-up appearances, late-night shows, etc. And, of course, we all know that in 91, so 10 years later, he got the starring role in Home Improvement, as you are correct, Tim the Toolman Taylor. And ever since. And my favorite movie, not my favorite movie, one of my favorite Christmas movies.
Oh my God, if that's your favorite movie.
The Santa Claus was 1994. So there we go. I did not make that up. That is one of those things that was stuck in my head. But good for you, Tim, for turning your life around.
I bet he had such good content being in prison. That's what I think of. When I think of anything, any sort of
this is funny.
bad situation, right. I'm like, that would make great content. Like whenever I enter a bank and I'm like, what happens if we got held up in this bank? And I'm thinking that would be great fodder for the podcast.
That'd be horrible.
It'd be horrible, but also a good story. As long as no one got.
But good stories can also be nice, pleasant stories. They don't have to be tragedies. You're good. The dark places for this fodder.
I'm just saying, no, it's more of like taking a bad situation and turning it into a positive.
Well, talking about taking a bad situation and turning it into positive. Can you stop trying to, I don't know why that was a good transition, but can you stop trying to lure me into a Clubhouse?
No.
I don't get it.
Well, that's
I don't
not
understand.
my fault.
Why do I have to? No, I get what it is. Let me be clear.
But no one else does who's listening to this podcast.
Okay, explain Clubhouse, because I said it to my running partners the other day, and I don't think they really knew Clubhouse either.
Because it's new.
Explain
and we're
it.
getting in from the ground floor. Clubhouse is a social media app that is audio based, and they call it like an audio drop-in. Think of it as going into a virtual convention center, right? And there's different conventions being held. That's also known like as a Clubhouse page. They set up meeting rooms that have different themes. There's like a panel of people talking and a moderator. You can participate as an audience member, and sometimes they'll let you come up and speak with the panel and be a part of it, either by asking a question or just joining the panel as an expert. And there are so many different topics that you can choose from. I was trying to get Aaron on, and there was a whole panel discussion just about philosophy, which he loves, and I had no idea what they were talking about.
How many people were in the room, though, while this panel discussion was going on?
So that one had 300 people in it.
Oh.
With about 10 people on the panel.
Wow.
And but I've joined rooms where it's 5 people.
Right. So that's the rooms I've joined.
So because you have to follow certain topics and certain people and get onto Clubhouse pages so you can get notified of those meetings. So I am a part of a Clubhouse page called Shabbat Shalom, and it's for Jews, obviously. And I see something and it says, tell your 90-second Jewish journey. And I join, and you know who's moderating is our cousin Seth Cohen. And he's moderating.
He will love being called our cousin Seth Cohen, because he's really married to our cousin.
Right.
Right.
He is. And I said, and so they were trying to get people to come on stage and tell their 90-second. But the twist was you can't mention any organizations.
Oh, that's
or
good.
like brands, right?
Yeah.
So I raised my hand and he had me on stage, and then he goes, I am super, and he's not following me. I don't even think he knew I was on Clubhouse. Coincidentally, I'm the one who got his sister-in-law, Ellen, to come join Clubhouse. But I was glad he recognized me. He's like, oh my God, I'm so excited. You guys are going to love her. And then after I did my 90-second spiel, he's like, well, we may need to get Amanda to co-moderate some nights. So I was like, yes. That sounds great.
Perfect.
But no, I think there's
how many were in that room?
I would say there were about 45 to 60 people.
Really?
In there, yes. And there's some rooms that have 20,000 people. Right?
No. How is this a beta and there's 20,000 people already in these rooms?
Well, because it's been going on for a year. Okay. So they do it in stages. It's like when I was a part of that social media app that BJ Novak created, it started off with 300 people.
Right.
And then when they launched it, I think a year in and made it public, there were like 5,000 or something.
Okay. Well, I apologize because, of course, I just signed up this week, and then I only was in one room that we started, and there were only 3 people. And and I just kind of thought, why do I want to keep going into this Clubhouse place and talking to 3 people when I'm exhausted because I've been talking via Zoom all day?
But if you don't enjoy it, you shouldn't do it, right? But I thought it'd be fun and I'm building up the Sis and Tell Clubhouse page. We have about 50 members, and that's big. That's really good. But if we're not consistently creating content for it, then they don't know about us. But I'm also kind of waiting for there to be more people. But we can do stuff like if I'm walking the dog, I might just turn on Clubhouse and say, take a walk with a sister, you know?
So let me ask you, when you say creating content, this is not like our creating a podcast, then it's out there and people can listen at their leisure. This is like you have to actually, creating content is live and then it goes away. It's not recorded.
It's like AOL chat rooms, except it's audio. Remember all the AOL chat rooms?
Do I remember the AOL chat rooms? I was one of the pioneers. Stop. Yeah. I was one of the pioneers in the AOL chat rooms. Oh my gosh. I used to chat all the time.
It is AOL chat room, but you're literally chatting.
Yeah.
Okay?
Let me be clear. I was also like 23 years old, and I was single, living in Chicago at the time, and had my little Apple computer. That was my lifeline to the world.
But I could see them one of the panels like having you on as a speaker to talk about one clip, right? And change making and
right.
stuff like that, But like Malcolm Gladwell is on Clubhouse.
But do we know it's Malcolm Gladwell? That's my other thing. I'm back to the verifying.
Right. Yeah, yes, there's no verified accounts yet because it's so new. But it's obviously these people.
Do we know
right?
that Clubhouse is even verified? Is it real? Well, I guess if it's him, unless it's an impersonator, because they're talking. It's not typing. It's not like it's not a chat. The difference is AOL chat rooms. The only way you could sort of like understand people or surmise their personalities was through their texting. I mean, back then it wasn't called texting, but through their actual text, right? This is all vocal.
Their voice, right? Tori Spelling's on there. Not that you're a Tori Spelling fan.
I am a
like
Tori
her.
Spelling fan. Oh, 90210. I mean, who isn't?
She talks a lot about horror movies. But anyways.
Horror movies?
Yeah.
That is a weird departure for her. Okay.
Anyway, enough about Clubhouse.
All right, I'll give it another try, and I'm sorry to lambast you publicly, but
Bubba's on there, so I thought it'd be fun if we did something with him.
Bubba and his sisters.
Yeah, that's our brother. We call him Bubba, Stuart Goldstein.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening to the latest episode of Sis and Tell Podcast. Come join us on Clubhouse. Come join us on Facebook. You won't be able to join us this year at Passover because we're all doing our own thing. But, send us your favorite thing to put on matzah, sisters@sisandtell.com. As always, this has been Amanda and Allison with a whole lot of talk about a whole lot of nothing. We'll catch you next time.
Sleep.